Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Creating Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a video that I saw on the YouTube channel by a realtor named Scott Walters. So if you never watched the YouTube channel by Scott Walters, a lot of it is like about impending economic doom and chaos. And I don't like to make those types of videos, even though I do kind of like think about that a lot. But one of the videos that kind of stood out to me was this one about Kiss Los Angeles Goodbye. And he was reading about an article in the Los Angeles Times, and I thought it was really insane. So it apparently evictions have been restarting in the city of Los Angeles. And this article is from this month, September 2023. And this says over 40,000 eviction notices have gone out in LA this year, many to upscale apartments. Now, here's the insane thing. This is my understanding of like how multifamily works in like a big city like Los Angeles. Even if all the units were filled, my understanding is that the building wouldn't cash flow, right? The building wouldn't cash flow. And the whole play is that you try to minimize that negative cash flow, and then 5 to 7 years later, you sell it because of the appreciation. So that's a strike one as a landlord, as why I would never buy in Los Angeles or entertain the idea of multifamily in Los Angeles. Strike two is that Los Angeles is tenant friendly, right? Los Angeles is tenant friendly, so if you have to evict people, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a much harder battle to evict someone than, let's say, in like I don't know, rural Georgia or something like that. Strike three is that a lot of the people in LA, it seems to attract a lot of like an empty type of personality who uh, just wants to pretend to uh, make money. So it's like, this whole thing about social media influencers. So first of all, I don't understand why you have to go to LA to be a social media influencer. Like you could just do it in rural America. All you do is you need a smartphone or whatever, upload to YouTube, which the whole country has. Like everybody has like an internet connection now these days, even the rural areas, right? And then you could be influenced everywhere. So there's no need to ever partake in this type of like. But again, the type of demographic that the city of Los Angeles attracts is this vapid, empty person who is not real and wants to kind of pretend to work to get the fake money so that they can't even get the fake money because there's nothing that they actually contribute to an economy that where you need actual goods and services. But the people in LA, they just kind of come here, pretend to make money so that they can't, so they just don't pay rent. So let's just kind of go into the article more. And actually, one more comment I want to make is that the type of person in Los Angeles that you'll kind of meet, and I'm not saying everybody, but it's just kind of like the average is like they'd rather steal $1 from you than make $1 million from you. That's the type of the personality that is attracted to the city of LA and these types of structures. And that's why I would never live there. I think my mental health would be like shot in like 3 days if I stayed there too long, right? So just kind of making a note about that. But again, insane 40,000 eviction notices gone on in LA, many upscale apartments. So let's just kind of scroll down here. So at Promenade Towers, a Bunker Hill apartment complex with 611 units that bills itself as an urban oasis at the heart of downtown, tenants received 371 eviction notices from late January through July. At 1600 Vine, a Hollywood building with 375 units that's been known for attracting social media influencers. So that's something I just talked about, how it attracts a certain personality type that doesn't actually plan to create or provide a good of service in order to participate in a real economy. It's more about this bubble thing that people get hyped up for, and then social media influencers, unless you're the top 1, 2, or 2%, kind of like an actor, you're probably not making any money. And so here's the other thing too. Um, it says who've posted from this balconies and manicured courtyard, 313 notices were issued in that period. So if we just do a quick calculation, which I've done right here, 313 divided by 375, that's saying that 83% of the tenants are not paying rent. So if you have a building where it's mostly filled at its occupancy and you're still negative cash flowing, in what world are you doing okay if 83% of the renters aren't, you have to evict them because they're not paying rent? You're definitely hurting. Or I don't know what the game plan is. Is it just to lose money? Because there are better ways to lose money. Just give it to me. But here's the thing. So 313 notices were issued in that period. And so this is kind of like, all these red flags are going off. Like, first of all, don't buy a building in Los Angeles. Second of all, it's, my understanding of most landlords is they just don't like self-employed people. And I'm a landlord myself. I might consider you, if you're self-employed, if you have some money, might check some bank account statements. But I find it very hard to believe that all 313 of these social media influencers were financially stable. Like I just can't believe, especially to be able to afford rent in a city like Los Angeles. I have two homes, and I wouldn't. I'd be cash broke. I'd be paycheck to paycheck if I lived in one of these places. And I don't understand how so many people who probably don't make that much money as a social media influencer were able to kind of just bypass like your basic property management screen. And that's kind of like, to me, a red flag of the property management. So if I were the owner of this building, which I would not be because I wouldn't buy in Los Angeles, but if I were and I had property management where that would accepted most of the tenants as social media influencers, I'd be really pissed and I'd try to get rid of all of them, try to get some sane management into this building. But because the city of LA just not full of insane people, it's a disaster on all sides. And that's why, you know, again, all these flame clickbait video type thumbnails, but it's true, right? I mean, if you look at that, like what's going on? I'm so glad I'm not the landlord of this building. And here's the thing: if I'm a landlord, but if I had to do one eviction, right, one eviction of a tenant, even like once every 5 years, I'd be heartbroken, right? But the fact that you're doing 80%, or let me just say this, 83% of the tenants in a building are not paying rent because again, what is the hardest job of a landlord? It is to screen tenants. And so it seems like these tenants were not screened. They just let anybody with a heartbeat in. And then now they have to do a lot more work to kick them out. And if you know anything about business in general, like having to fire, we'll just say like firing and hiring and firing employees, it costs a lot of money to hire and fire an employee. Same thing with like running an apartment or a rental business. It takes a lot more money to find tenants and then evict them rather than just having a stable tenant through the same amount of time for many, many years, right? But that's just how it is. And this is the 1600 Vine. So you live here, then you'll be surrounded by social media influencers. I don't know why you want to be surrounded by that, but yeah. So scroll down here, and again, 40,000 notices sent to about 8 residents of 8,400 buildings. Does Los Angeles have 8,400 buildings? That's insane. I didn't know that, and I lived there too. But 96% were issued for non-payment of rent. So again, this is insane. This is why I'd never be a landlord in Los Angeles. I don't know if this, who's going to shell out the money to do all this nonsense, and it's not worth the trouble. And I remember one time I asked in a meeting with some more experienced investors, is like, why would anyone be a landlord in San Francisco or Los Angeles? And the experienced investors was like, I don't know. It's like, and these were people who are making like 40,000 cash flow a month from their single family rental units in like, rural Georgia. I mean, they know what they're doing, right? But then, in a market like Los Angeles, everything's against you. First is the type of people who live there who don't really make any money but pretend to. Second is that it's a tenant-friendly city. Third is that it's Los Angeles, right? That itself is like one of those sins. Remember that channel like Cinema Sins? That's a sin against, the city, right? Just being Los Angeles. But yeah, so what do y'all think? I mean, do any of you live in Los Angeles? Because I know that California is the state, and I know California is a huge place, but Texas is actually the number one state that's viewed my channel, or the viewers in Texas, number one state, and then California is number two. So I'm really interested to know what part of California people are watching this channel from. And hopefully it's not Los Angeles because I despise Los Angeles. But hey, if you live in Los Angeles and you vibe with this content, kudos to you. All right, so this is Creating Atlanta Mentorship. If you have any questions, comments in below. If you're interested in joining our mentorship group, go ahead and click the Google form link below and submit your information, and we will reach out to you soon. Have a great day, everybody, and we will speak next time.